If some of you don't agree with me, please don't kill me. What up, my realists? It's Stephen, and welcome back to another Thursday video. I hope y'all are doing amazing. I'm doing amazing myself. We are about to hit 40,000 subscribers, which is a huge milestone. And again, before we reach it, I want to thank all of you for all your support throughout the years and all of that. It really means a lot to me that all of you continue to watch my stuff, and it's just so validating that, you know, I must be doing something right. And because we're about to hit 40k, a new Q&A is coming up, so watch out for that. But as you can tell by the title of this video, we're gonna talk about something that I personally really love. I feel like I got into musicals because of movie musicals. I grew up on all of those Disney musicals like Mulan, Pocahontas, The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, and then also on like Princess and the Frog, Tangled, Frozen, and all of that. I think that was my first introduction to it, and that's how I first like fell in love with musicals and all of that. And then it extended to the other movie musicals, you know, like Chicago, The Sound of Music, Hairspray, all of that. I mean, I only really started watching theater when I was in high school, so my exposure to musicals like before that was all like, you know, the movies that would come out on the Disney Channel and stuff. So as you can expect, I've probably watched a lot over the years, and I don't think I've ever talked about what are my favorite and least favorite movie musicals. So that's what this video is gonna be about. I thought it was a good idea to make this video, considering that in like the last week, so many movie musicals got greenlit and are starting like pre-production and stuff. Like there's gonna be a Mean Girls movie of the musical, so that, I don't know why they did that, but I'm gonna watch it. And then there's new reports of Dear Evan Hansen getting a movie. The Prom is about to get a movie, I think this year? Yeah. And Hamilton with the original Broadway cast is gonna be shown next year, and I can't wait for that personally. So I thought it was a good time to make a video like this, but before we get to that, if you guys like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to follow me on all of my social media. For Facebook, that is Stephen Flores. For Instagram, that is Stephen Flores _IRL. And for Twitter, that is at Stephen J. Flores. Also, if you like this and want to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe. And without further ado, we're gonna get to it right now. My top 5 favorite and least favorite movie musicals. But before we get to that, we're gonna start with the honorable mentions. So these are like the movies that are like in between the top 5 good and the top 5 bad. And those are like Jersey Boys, the High School Musical series, every single Disney animated musical is probably gonna be there, the Rock of Ages movie, the Rent movie, the Phantom of the Opera movie, and a bunch of those other ones. Those are the ones in the middle. But first, let's start off at the bottom. So now we're gonna go to my top 5 least favorite movie musicals. These are in no particular order, by the way. I'm just gonna mention all of them. So first off is The Greatest Showman. I know this must come as a shock to a lot of you, considering that my biggest video on this channel is a Greatest Showman video, but I did not really enjoy the movie at all. If you think about it, like the plot points were really weak. How I felt about it was that it was a 90-minute music video. There was just like plot in between the songs, because honestly, like the songs aside, you gotta admit, the plot of this is like really bad. The pacing is off. And like, for example, at the end, he just suddenly changed out of nowhere. Like it wasn't earned at all. Like all of a sudden he felt bad and then he wanted to go back to his family, and like nothing like brought him to that conclusion. Like it just happened out of nowhere. And that's basically this entire movie. It's like the narrative threads are really thin, and you're just like, half the time I was just like, how are these characters getting anywhere? Legit. Good thing the songs of this are really good, because if it weren't for the songs, like, this would probably be the worst among all of them. Next is Bohemian Rhapsody, for a number of reasons. If you're like friends with me in real life, you'll know that I really crap on Bohemian Rhapsody like all the time. And that's because it has the worst editing like ever. If you watch that movie, the editing just makes you want to like scream, because it's so like, it's just so bad. Second, Rami Malek never even sang, okay? He didn't even sing anything. He was lip-syncing the entire time. And I feel like people only like this movie because of the Live Aid scene at the end. But if you take into account like the rest of the movie, it is so bad. Plotting is off. Pacing is off. Directing sucks. Do you know they had to fire the director of this one and they got a new one, right? That's how bad this is. It magically got Oscar nominations because people love Queen. Well, you know what? Queen deserved a better movie. I really can't stand this. Next is the Cats movie, which is probably the second worst one I've ever seen. For the people who never watch Cats, bless you, but then you will never know the excruciating pain it brings. Like when you just see the cats and there's fur growing out of their face, and they look like humans. You know, for some reason, the cats in the stage version look more like cats than the movie version. That's not supposed to happen. I don't get why they couldn't just make it animated, and of course, like, you have the usual criticisms of cats that the plot sucks, and like, it leads to absolutely nowhere. And they're all just basically singing until one of them dies. Also, it's so lazily done. You know, there are a lot of scenes where, like, in the first part, the cat has, like, fur on his hands. Then in the next shot, the fur completely disappears. Or there are shots where you can literally see them in their Nikes. Like, they're literally wearing Nike shoes. They didn't even bother to put fur on top of that. It's just so bad. Next is probably going to be a very controversial one here. And I know a lot of you will probably kill me for saying this. But the Les Miserables movie. I really am not a fan of, like, the zooming thing that they tried to do. Like, I know Tom Hooper just tried to get, like, really up close to the characters. But then I was like, I didn't need their whole face covering up the screen, okay? It just felt so off to me the whole time. And, like, I don't know. Like, it didn't flow smoothly. And do we even have to talk about Russell Crowe singing? That was not singing, bro. That was screaming, or like nasally screaming into a mic the whole time. I just really don't like it. Like, I remember like a lot of people liked it, but I was just like, what is this thing? Like, I'm so confused. And it could have been great. That's the thing. It could have been amazing. But then it turned out like that. Why? And lastly, what I'm gonna put on here is the Into the Woods movie. Mostly because I really wanted them to keep it like the original musical. Because, you know, the original musical is really dark. It has like really dark themes in it. And like really bad stuff happens to these characters. But then like this version was so sanitized. And I get it because like Disney was the one that made it. And, you know, Disney's like a family-friendly company. But seriously, like, a lot of what made this musical so interesting and so well loved all over the world completely disappeared. Like there was nothing likable for me anymore, and that's why it's on this list. So we're done talking about my 5 least favorite. Now let's go to my 5 most favorite. Again, these are in no particular order. Number 1 is Chicago. I don't know if y'all seen the Chicago movie, but that thing is like one of the greatest things I've ever seen, okay? You know, like most of their like musical performances are like on a stage, and then it transitions from like jail to stage, jail to stage. It's so good. Did you see their Cell Block Tango? I almost died when I saw that. And also the Roxy, and and you know that song that goes like, reach for the gun, the gun, the gun. Oh my god, that was so good too. Literally everything about this movie was just perfect, and I'm so glad that it won Best Picture, because honestly, it was just so amazing. And Chicago's already one of my favorite musicals, like movie regardless, but this movie is just like so good. Everyone's acting was amazing. Rob Marshall's directing was great. Everything about this was spot on. And if you haven't seen it, like, find it. If it's not on Netflix, go somewhere and find it, because it is amazing. Next up is Hairspray. This Hairspray movie is probably what got me into like watching live musicals in the first place, because I love this movie. Oh my god. Every song is a bop, okay? All of them. The performances of all the actors were so great. The themes were so timely. Everything was fantastic. Some of the musical numbers here are my favorite musical numbers of any movie of all time. Like, Welcome to the 60s, amazing. You Can Stop the Beat, groundbreaking. Everything. Without Love, chills. Just chills everywhere. And can we talk about that cast for a second? John Travolta, Amanda Bynes, Michelle Pfeiffer, James Marsden, Queen Latifah, Christopher Walken, who, by the way, can actually sing. I was kind of shook. But yeah, this was so good. Next up is Rocket Man. If you haven't seen Rocket Man, find a copy and watch it. This is the movie that Bohemian Rhapsody tried to be and then failed to be, because this one is amazing. It actually is a musical. You know how like they use Elton John's music to convey character and emotion, unlike in Bohemian Rhapsody where they just use the songs for no purpose at all. Yeah, this was that good. Taron Egerton was my best actor for the year. His performance was so good. Oh my god. And they really used Elton John's songs so well to tell his life story. And you really like felt for him at the end. And it's just like it's so mind-blowingly good. I swear. This is what I think, if we're gonna have like biographic musicals from now, this is the gold standard for them, okay? Every other musical about like an artist should follow this, because like this was just Wow, it was amazing. Next up is The Sound of Music. I grew up on this. I remember when I was younger, like when I was like 4 or 5, I would watch this like probably like once a week because I loved it so much. And as you all know, if you've been watching my channel long enough, Sound of Music is my favorite show of all time. Even though some of the songs didn't really age, you know, that well, I really, really, really love this musical. And Julie Andrews is my queen forever. And my god, this is like, I would gladly spend 3 hours of my day just watching this again. It's so good. I'm pretty sure all of you have watched it. If you haven't seen The Sound of Music, are you a real musical fan? So go watch The Sound of Music. And lastly, I think this might be my favorite movie musical of all time. And I know this movie gets really divisive reactions. I bet some of you are gonna agree with me and be like, oh yeah, that's my favorite too. And some of you are gonna be like, you deserve to have your musical theater license revoked because that is not a good movie. But I don't care because it's my favorite movie. Not just my favorite musical movie, but I think it's my favorite movie of all time. And that is La La Land. I cannot tell you enough how good this movie is, okay? How it portrays the themes of dreams, hard work, passion, and like how it tells you to never give up on your dreams even though it seems so hard and so pointless already. If you keep going, you're always gonna get there, which, you know, speaks to me on a personal level because I'd like to think that I have that same kind of ambition. Also, the songs in here are great. I wanted to learn the dance to A Lovely Night just so that I could dance that part. Audition, The Fools Who Dream is so good. City of Stars, like the longer version, is so good. Another Day of Sun, and Somewhere in the Crowd, bops, all of them. And oh my god, can we talk about for a second the last 10 minutes of this thing, which shows an alternate reality for them if they actually put each other first before their job, but then they realized they wouldn't be as happy in that scenario, so they're happier now. Oh my god. So yes, my favorite movie musical of all time, and I think you guys knew that already, was La La Land. There are not enough words in my vocabulary for me to say how much I love this movie. I mean, Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone, my parents. And there you have it. Those are my top 5 favorite and least favorite movie musicals. What are your favorite and least favorite movie musicals? I want to hear about them. Comment them down below. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see y'all next week. Thank you so much for watching my release. If you like it, click the subscribe button and the like button down there. My suggested videos are to my left and to my right, and down in the description are my social media stuff. Like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Until next time, guys, see ya!